Shalom Akim. I'm going to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who teach in real well. And salutations to all the Akim and all four corners of earth who's pushing this truth and sincerity. Shalom Akim. I want to get into this little article, man. It's a hot topic that's been going on for some time for the last, this month just began. For the last few weeks it's been going on. Probably, I would say longer than that, truthfully. Starting from the West Coast going interior to Africa, those countries are right above Nigeria, right above that Gold Coast. You got Maui, Martinique, Niagara, and Burkina Faso, and you can throw another country in there too. But these countries have been, they've been. You have these different nations that have been following in there because they want to control the uranium that's coming out of that area. The name of the game is to control the resources that come out of these so-called third world countries. And the Western powers have been doing this for quite some time. There's a poster that was made around the 1700s, 1800s, where it showed, I would say probably like 1600s, where they showed the leaders of the so-called leaders of the Edomite world with their hands and knives and their hands and forks, and they were carving up Africa. That's around the time when the different Edomite nations came in and chopped it up. You had the South Africa went to the Dutch. The part of the West Africa was fought between your type powers, your superpowers, which was French, Spain, and English. Because you do have a country or two over there that speaks Spanish, believe it or not. Ecuador, if I'm not mistaken, they speak Spanish. You have Ecuador in South America, and you have Ecuador in the West Coast of Africa, or in Africa, period. But at the end of the day, it was a power shift, and now, these different West Coast countries are waking up. They're saying that our export is not weighing in on the economy. Like we have this thing called uranium that the world is yearning for and dying for, whether it be for their cars, for these electrical cars that you see driving around, or for your war machines that's going on. Because, a lot of these nukes, they use the uranium in different, high precious stones and stuff to that nature, rocks and stuff. So in that part of Africa, you could get it, it's there. And the people are dirt poor there, and these countries are France and the Western powers are blowing up. I should say they're financially stable, so it's an off balance. So it's no wonder why there's always war in these countries, man, because these different Western powers are there to impose their authority, and they're holding the people back, man. But at the end of the day, some of these countries also are rebelling against the Western powers, and it started off with something as simple as, changing their rules, because a lot of these countries, the Western powers came in there with those LGBTQ laws and stuff like that, trying to change their ways of life. And still to this day, they're going over there and, coming into their conferences and trying to put that on the front of their agenda. Or people are poor, no jobs and everything. This is what's on their mind to try to control what they do in their bedroom. Try to turn them into to moles and stuff like that, man. Transformers, because at the end of the day, we all know that that's a clandestine plan to keep the population control down. Moles cannot reproduce. Dykes cannot reproduce. It's just what it is, man. And so these different countries, they're rebelling. They're rebelling against the Western powers, and these Western powers are getting upset. But at the end of the day, we know where it comes from. This is Jeremiah 51:7. Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. So these nations are upset, man, because their leaders, are falling into these Western powers' hands, man. They don't mind taking $1 just to turn their neck or turn their back, and allow, the wicked to control, man. The wicked to come in with their lies and stuff, man. Come in with their own agenda. And if you don't get down with their agenda, they'll offset the country. And when you offset the country, what happens? Coups. You could throw off the market, you could throw off the uprise one people over another. It's just all sorts of different ways. And these Western powers have different agencies that go in and do that, man. All because of their own interests to extract and take out the things that they want at the price that they want. John 10:10, a thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy, man. And that's what these Western powers do daily, man. And these countries are waking up, man. They're starting to wake up and they're fighting back. And when they fight back, they get sanctions put on them. Their government, they have coups happen. The sanctions make the people upset. Sanctions can have other countries block, access to goods to come in. So therefore, your island damn near. Think about Cuba. Cuba's had a sanction from America for a long time where they don't allow certain goods to come over there. So that's how big how big of a power and stretch the Western power has, man. This is Revelation 18:3. For all nations have drunken of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through her, the abundance of her delicacies, man. So if you don't get down basically with these Western powers, man, then like I say, them sanctions come, so you don't get to enjoy, what you reap at in your own planet, and in your own land, man. You don't even get to enjoy it, man. It puts me in the mindset of when the Romans were in control. When they told you to bring something, you were subjugated to bring it. And if you didn't, and that came through, and they'll burn your town down. They'll raise your town up from the ground up, so to speak. That's what they say, And in these other countries nowadays, they do it different ways, man. Technology is running rampant, so it's all sorts of ways. Financially, they could hurt you. They could stop whatever money was coming in, man. But at the end of the day, these Western powers, they're losing it, and these Burkina Faso, Guyana, Maui, they're throwing up Russian flags now. So they're discontinuing their French. And some of the countries are even not even speaking French anymore. So these are all just smacks in the face of the French, man. But at the end of the day, the French are in bed with the rest of the Western powers, and the major muscle is America, man. But these devils, they have to impose their will, man, in order to keep their power, their structure going, man, and keep these other countries down, man. This is Proverbs 4:16. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall, man. In these countries, man, even Nigeria, you could throw Nigeria. They say that they got their independence in 1965, which, that I shouldn't say 19. I can't remember exactly when they claimed their independence, but that was nothing more than what the English just moving out of there. But the English still has control over them somehow, some way. Whether it be the oil that's coming out of Nigeria, the goods that come out of Nigeria, and even in the name itself, this was given to you by your imperial powers. If you look at old maps of Western Africa, this was all down there like 2 to 3 kingdoms in that little area right there. It wasn't all these different countries how it's chopped up now. And that was chopped up to divide the power, man. You keep the people divided, man. So Esau knows what he's doing, man. This is Job 20:19. Because he have oppressed and have forsaken the poor, because he have violently taken away a house which he built not. Esau don't build none of this stuff, man. But he gonna take it away. He gonna take whatever away he wants, man. Whatever structure, the things that you build, he gonna take it away or put his face on it. He says, Job 20:20, surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired, man. So he'll never be satisfied, man, with the things that he does, man. He's going to continuously look into his bag of tricks to try to fool the people out of the goods that they have in their land, man. In these countries, they'll work with the opposition. In some countries, they don't even have opposition, but they'll make an opposition for them, man. So that's how the devil works, man. You know, he'll come just pick the drunkard out of the town and raise him up to be an opponent against something that's structured and is good in the country, you know. But he's there for confusion. That's the devil's job, man. So all these coups throughout my life growing up, you know, and I've always felt like, man, this stuff is just crazy. These countries are just crazy. No, in all actuality, when you do your research and you find out where the finger points, where the rat hole, where the mole and hole ends, you find out it always goes to these Western powers and their interests. What are they doing this for, and why they're doing this for? They don't just go do coups in these countries unless they have things that they need and they can take out and they want, you know. But yeah, that uranium is something that's very important to the Western powers, and they will offset and destroy countries and put in their puppet governments for that matter. So when you see these coups, it ain't just the people crazy. It's because, you know, a Western power wants something out of there, and by any means necessary, they're going to take it. And that's just the way it has been going on for quite some time, man. They'll try to throw these different powers and try to throw these curveballs, Republicans, Democrats, this and BS and that BS. But we're gonna expose it for what it is. With that being said, just edifying. Shalom, Akim.